Organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up today on Daily Iowan TV, attack in the UK, London in panic, and spring break, students making a difference.
We recap yesterday's Iowa baseball game
and talk a little NCAA tournament.
Get those umbrellas ready because we are expecting lots of rain this week.
All that and more is coming your way. You're watching Daily Iowan TV. Good morning and thanks for tuning in to Daily Iowan TV. I'm Mackenzie Cooper. Yesterday, a terrorist attack in London left 4 people dead and 40 wounded. One of the victims included a police officer. The motive is believed to be an act of Islamic extremism. The incident took place outside of the English Parliament. The attacker crashed into civilians with his car and then went on to stab a police officer. The attacker was then shot and killed on scene. Officials are now patrolling the streets securing Westminster, London, where the incident took place. Stick with Daily Iowan TV as the story develops. Iowa City officials are still on the search for Vanessa Jones, a woman who walked away from a mental health facility Sunday. Jones is still at large in the community. 8 public safety agencies are on the search for Jones with no luck. The Iowa City Police Department is asking Iowa City citizens to help in the search of Jones. She's a white woman who is 5 feet 4 inches tall, 160 pounds, with brown hair and green eyes. Anyone with information on Jones' whereabouts is asked to call the Johnson County Joint Emergency Communications Center at 319-356-6800. A deadly bacterial disease found in eastern Iowa called Leptospirosis is out, and it is putting people and animals at risk. There are currently hundreds of strains of the disease out right now. The disease can be contracted when dogs drink contaminated water in puddles, ponds, or dew. The disease can be treated by antibiotics in early stages, but people are still at risk. While some students spent their spring breaks on vacations or relaxing, others spent theirs earning credit in a unique way. I took a look at what their experiences were like. The Center for Student Involvement and Leadership offers an alternative spring break for students. They are given the opportunity to serve and help a community in the United States while also earning credit. This year, 12 different locations were offered and each focused on a different topic. Students spent all semester in a lecture and discussion course preparing for their service project.
In January, they begin taking the service learning course and prepare every week by learning more about a specific topic that their team is focusing on. So it could be homelessness or food justice or urban development.
Students were able to serve in Atlanta, Detroit, Dallas, Denver, and many more cities. While earning credit is definitely a plus, many students said they wanted to participate in the alternative spring break because they want to help others. They also struggled with the idea of leaving after their week-long project.
There were some sad parts though, like seeing people that really need help and knowing that you're going to have to go home and you can't really reach those people again.
Students interested in participating next year can apply in the fall. Reporting from the University of Iowa campus, this is Mackenzie Cooper, Daily Iowan TV. I was looking forward to warmer temperatures now that spring is finally here, but I had to pull out my winter jacket again yesterday. Alexis, what are we expecting this week?
I know, Kenzie, temperatures are finally warming up after today though. But don't forget your umbrellas this week as we are expecting a lot of rain. Let's head over to the weather studio to take a look at the rest of the forecast. Seasons have finally changed, and while today might be a little chilly, the rest of the week will feel more like spring. We are expecting rain this afternoon with temperatures of about 41 degrees. Later this evening, clouds will move in as temperatures increase to a high of 49 degrees. Tomorrow morning will also be cloudy with a high of 54 degrees. I hope everyone has their rain jackets ready because we are expecting a lot of rain for the rest of the week. There's a 90% chance of precipitation on Friday evening, but temperatures will shoot up to a high of 73 degrees. The rain will stick around for Saturday with chances at 100% and temperatures in the mid-50s. On Sunday, there's a 40% chance of rain in the morning with a high of 50 degrees. There's a slight chance of precipitation Monday evening with temperatures reaching the mid-50s. The rain will finally give us a break on Tuesday when we will be expecting cloudy skies and temperatures in the high 50s. Temperatures will remain about the same for Wednesday with a high in the low 60s with a 60% chance of rain. That's all I have here in the weather studio. Kenzie, back to you.
The University of Iowa campus has been the site of several protests over the course of this year. Daily Iowan TV's Joe Fisher takes a look at the history of protest on campus.
Protests are a common sight on college campuses. I spoke with U of I historian David McCartney about Iowa's protest history.
University of Iowa does certainly have a long tradition of unfettered free expression.
The Iowa Memorial Union was a hotbed for protest and activism during the Vietnam War. Here in the basement of the Iowa Memorial Union is the spot where the soapbox sound-off used to take place, the same site where in 1965 an Iowa sophomore, Steve Smith, burned his draft card in protest of the Vietnam War.
He was only the second person in the United States to do so. A few days before a man burned his draft card near an Army induction center in New York. But this particular student here at Iowa, his name was Steve Smith, was the first to do so on a college campus.
After the incident, Smith was tried and sentenced to 3 years of probation, but McCartney says that wasn't the end of his punishment.
He faced a period in which he could not be employed, and there is evidence that he was monitored by the FBI.
Reporting from the University of Iowa, I'm Joe Fisher, Daily Iowan TV.
The state of Iowa is not a state that forces non-union public employees to pay union dues. However, union and non-union members equally are given the same benefits from the union's collective bargaining gains. Jeff Halgren brings up that the cycle of corruption drains the state of resources needed. Halgren goes on to enforce American workers to have a voice for decent wages and benefits, as well as safe working conditions. The Board of Regents spoke on the issues of government openness, rising tuition, and the funding crisis they will oversee. Members of the Iowa Senate Education Committee grilled these regent appointees on these things. The three must be confirmed by 34 members of the 50-person Senate. During Tuesday night's City Council meeting, the Iowa City Mayor, Jim Throgmorton, read the proclamation for the city's Immigration Day of Action. The proclamation is extremely important to the city because it is welcoming all immigrants from different parts of the country and all walks of life. Mayor Throgmorton says that this will make the community stronger because of the diversity that people bring. In Hancher Auditorium, a combination of dance and architecture came together with a collaboration between architect Stephen Hall and choreographer Jessica Lang. This isn't the first time Hall has made his mark on Iowa.
Well, architect Stephen Hall didn't design Hancher Auditorium, the site of the dance recital. He did design several buildings on campus, including Art Building West.
This is the first time a performance like this has been done at Iowa. Check it out tonight at 7:30 in Hancher Auditorium. To find out more, check out the Daily Iowan. Well, I heard that the Iowa baseball team absolutely crushed the ball yesterday. Let's toss it over to Colin and Taylor in the sports studio to find out more.
Thanks, Kenzie. You know, Taylor, baseball is definitely back in full swing. We had USA winning the WBC last night, and then Iowa baseball, crushing the ball.
Right, and we're only 10 days away from MLB kicking off their regular season, so I can't wait for that either.
Yeah, very exciting. But back to Iowa baseball. Coming off an extra inning win Sunday, the Iowa men's team hosted Bradley at Duane Banks Field last night.
Iowa got it going early Wednesday night and never looked back. Jake Adams started it off for the Hawkeyes when he hit a single to drive in the first run of the game.
Already up 2-0 in the first, Tyler Cropley stepped up to the plate and belted a grand slam to put the Hawks up 6-0 after the first inning.
And the Hawks were not done. In the third inning, already up big, Robert Newstrom blasts another grand slam for the Hawks to put them up 12-1. That would end up being the final after 9 innings with the Hawks claiming the victory.
Well, it was good to get off to a good start. They gave us some free bases in the first inning. Their starter was really struggling with his command. And, Cropley comes up, 2 outs, and hits a grand slam, which was big.
Now at 11-8 on this season, and on a 2-game winning streak, the Hawks are looking pretty good.
And the Hawkeyes will play their next game this Friday at 4:05 as they open up Big Ten play against Purdue.
The Iowa women's basketball team has been rolling in the NIT so far, winning their first 2 games. Alexis Davis has more on the Hawks, who look to stay hot in their game tonight.
The Hawkeyes will face Colorado tonight in the third round of the NIT. Coach Bluter talks about how Megan Gustafson's post presence will make all the difference.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even just from last year to this year, she's increased her point production about 8 per game. She's almost doubled her rebounds from last year. Her field goal percentage has gone up 10%. One of her weaknesses last year that we gave her was, you're an average free throw shooter. You're a 61% free throw shooter. Now she's an 81% free throw shooter. And she just took that to heart, and she worked at that every day this summer and became our best free throw shooter that's on the floor. So that's the beauty of Megan, is I'm going to give her something this summer, and she's going to go work on it. And boy, when you have players like that, anything is possible. You look at they won at California, they beat Kentucky. They have some really significant wins on their schedule. So we know that's possible. We know that they're a very good team. But again, I think my team is ready to roll. I think they're excited about Thursday, and they want to go another step farther.
The Hawks are looking to get their 20th win here tonight at Hawkeye Arena and also advance to the 4th round of the NIT.
The ladies will host Colorado in the third round of the NIT tonight at 7 p.m. inside Carver Hawkeye Arena as they look to continue their run in the tournament.
The men's and women's basketball teams did not make their respective NCAA tournaments, but the students of the University of Iowa are still excited about March Madness and the road to the Final Four. Lucy Roden and Will Silverstein, headed to the Pentecost to see if their brackets were boom or bust.
Despite the Hawkeyes not making the tournament, March Madness has been nothing short of amazing.
We took to the Pentecost to see how Hawkeye students' brackets are doing. How's your bracket doing?
It's doing horrible.
Why?
I picked more upsets than the chalk, and the chalk's winning right now.
Once Duke lost to South Carolina, it was total just chaos.
Did you think for a second, man, I should have picked South Carolina?
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all?
So how'd your bracket do this year?
Really terrible.
Why?
Duke lost, and a lot of people in my group picked random teams like Arizona, UCLA, and mine's already out. Yeah.
Why'd you have Duke winning it all?
Because Grayson Allen, I have this big theory, right, that the villain always wins in these, and nobody likes Grayson Allen, right? Terrible face, just a horrible guy. But I found out that there's a bigger villain, and that's Lonzo Ball for UCLA.
So you think UCLA is going to win it all?
Absolutely.
Win the tournament.
Gonzaga.
You picked Gonzaga.
Yeah.
How do you feel so far?
Not good.
Not good?
No. After the performance against Northwestern, I am not very confident.
Yeah. Was it something? What made you pick Gonzaga?
Okay, so obviously they had an almost undefeated season. They lost to St. Mary's, and I just felt really good going in this year. They've had a history of kind of getting places, but they've never really capitalized, and I felt like this year could be their year.
So this year's their year. It hadn't been in the past, but you had a really good feeling this time.
Yes.
Yeah. The two things we learned today from the Pentecost is number 1, don't pick Duke, and number 2, we're not the only ones with busted brackets.
Reporting from the Pentecost with busted brackets, this has been Lucy Rodine and Will Silverstein for Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Make sure you tune in tomorrow as we take a look at a little bit of glitter.
And recap the women's basketball game against Colorado. Kenzie, back to you.
And before we leave you today, a strange new fad has been gaining some attention. Some people are now eating oranges in the shower. The reason? People are trying to prevent the sticky residue that is left on their hands. That's it for this edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check out our live shows every Monday morning at 8:30 on Daily Iowan TV. And also, be sure to pick up today's edition of Daily Iowan. We will see you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mackenzie Cooper. Have a great day, Iowa City.